Chapter 1 of a medley of weather lore. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by WanderingWalker. A medley of weather lore by M.E.S. Wright. Chapter 1. January. Ancient Cornish name for the month, Misgenver, cold air month. Jewel for the month, garnet, constancy. If January calends be summerly gay, 'twill be wintry weather till the calends of May. The wind of the south will be productive of heat and fertility. The wind of the west of milk and fish. The wind from the north of cold and storm. The wind from the east of fruit on the trees. Scotland. At New Year's tide, the days lengthen, the cock stride, proverb in the north. A cold January, a feverish February, a dusty March, a weeping April, a windy May, presage a good year and gay. France. Warwickshire countrymen, to ensure good luck, bow 9 times to the first new moon of the year. A snow year, a rich year, the blackest month of all the year is the month of January. Through all the sad and weary hours which cold and dark and storms will bring, we scarce believe in what we know. That time drags on, at last till spring. The empty pastures blind with rain. If the grass grow in January, 'twill be worse for all the year. A fair day in winter is the mother of a storm. Under water famine, under snow bread. March in January, January in March I fear. A year of snow, a year of plenty, Spain. Winter time for shoeing, Peace time for wooing, Devon. 1565. On 12th Eve in Christmas, they used to set up as high as they can the sieve of oats, and in it a dozen candles set round, and in the centre one larger, all lighted. This in memory of our Saviour and his apostles, lights of the world, Westmeath custom. In the suburbs of Devonshire, on the eve of the Epiphany, the farmer, attended by his workmen, with a large pitcher of cider, goes to the orchard, and there, encircling one of the best-bearing trees, they drink the following toast several times. Here's to thee, old apple tree, whence thou mayst bud, and whence thou mayst blow, and whence thou mayst bear apples enow. Hats full, caps full, bushel, sacks full, and my pockets full too. Huzzah! Old custom of blessing apple trees on 12th day. Apple tree, bear apples for me. Hats full, laps full, sacks full, caps full. Apple tree, bear apples for me. 12th day came in a Tiffany suit, white and gold, like a queen on a frost cake, all royal, glittering, and epiphanous. Elia. January the 14th will be either the coldest or wettest day of the year. Huntingdon. St. Anthony, January 17th. It is affirmed of him all the world bemoaned his death. For afterwards there fell no rain from heaven for 3 years. St. Vincent, January 22nd, Old Style, February 3rd, New Style. Remember in St. Vincent's Day, if the sun has beams display, 'tis a token bright and clear that ye will have a prosperous year. Winter's thunder, summer's wonder. St. Paul's Eve, January 24th. Winter's white shroud doth cover all the ground, and Cassius blows his bitter blast of woe. The ponds and pools and streams in ice are bound, and famished birds are shivering in the snow. Still round about the house they flitting go, and at the window seek for scraps of food, which charity with hand profuse doth throw. Right weeting that in need of it they stood, for charity is shown by working creatures good. The sparrow pert, the chaffinch gay and clean, the redbreast welcome to the cotter's house, the lively blue tomtit, the ox-eye green, the dingy dunnock, and the swart-coal mouse, the titmouse of the marsh, the nimble wren, the bullfinch and the goldspink, with the king of birds, the goldcrest, the thrush, now and then, the blackbird, wont to whistle in the spring. Like Christians seek the heavenly food St. Paul doth bring. Dr. Forster. St. Paul's Day. If St. Paul's Day be fair and clear, it promises then a happy year. But if it chance to snow or rain, then will be dear all sorts of grain. Or if the wind do blow aloft, great stirs will vex the world full oft, and in dark clouds do moth the sky, then fowl and cattle oft will die. T. Passenger of God. For the latter part of January and February, the Merserian tree, which then blossoms, crocus, vernus, both the yellow and the grey, primroses, anemones, the early tulipa, hyacinthus, orientalis, chamaris, fritillaria, bacon. A January spring is worth no thing. Pluck broom, broom still, cut broom, broom, kill tusser. Good gardener mine, make garden fine, set garden peas and beans, if you please. Set respite and rose, yon roots of those who now sows oats gets golden groats, who sows in May gets little that way. Tusser. A kindly good January freezeth by the fire. O winter, wilt thou never, never go? O summer, but I weary for thy coming. David Gray. If the robin sings in the bush, then the weather will be coarse. But if the robin sings on the barn, then the weather will be warm. Norfolk. End of chapter 1. Chapter 2 of the Medley of Weather Lore. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by WanderingWalker. A Medley of Weather Lore by M.E.S. Wright. Chapter 2. February. Ancient Cornish name, whoever a whirling month. Jewel, amethyst, sincerity. 1 month is past, another is begun. Since merry bells rang out the dying year, and buds of rarest green began to peer, as if impatient for a warmer sun. And know the distant hills are bleak and dun. The virgin snowdrop, like a lambent fire, pierces the cold earth with its green streaked spire. And in dark woods a wandering little one may find a primrose. Hartley Coleridge. Fair rising from her icy couch, one herald of the floral year, the snowdrop marks the spring's approach, ere yet the primrose groups appear, or peers the arung from its spotted veil, or violet scent the cold capricious gale. Charlotte Smith. Candlemas shine, and the winter's behind. If Candlemas day be fair and bright, the winter will take another flight. But if it should be dark and drear, then winter is gone for another year. When on the purification sun hath shined, the greater part of winter comes behind. The badger peeps out of his hole on Candlemas day, and if he finds snows, walks abroad. But if he sees the sun shining, he draws back into his hole. German saying. On Candlemas day, if the forms Hannah drop, then you are sure of a good pea crop. When the wind's in the east on Candlemas day, there it will stick till the 2nd of May. February fill the ditch, black or white, we don't care which. Hans. All the months of the year fear a fair February, the dim droop of a sombre February day. There is an old proverb, the birds of a feather on St. Valentine's Day will meet together. 1733. Why, Valentine's a day to choose a mistress, and our freedom lose. May I my reason interpose, a question with an answer close? To imitate we have a mind, and couple like the wind kind. John Dunton. I early rose, just at the break of day, before the sun had chased the stars away. Afield I went in the morning dew, to milk my kine, for so should housewives do. Thee first I spied, and the first swain we see, in spite of fortune, shall our true love be. Gay. Shrovetide. Beef and bacon's out of season, I want a pan to parch my peas in. Barks. Nick knocked the pans hot, and we are come the shroving, for a piece of pancake or a piece of bacon, or a piece of truckle cheese of your own making. Hans. On Shrove Tuesday night, though the supper be fat, before Easter day, thou mayst fast for that. Isle the Man. Pancake Bell, Congleton. The housekeeper goes to the huckster's shop, and the eggs are brought home. And there's flop, flop, flop. And there's batter and butter and savoury smell, while merrily rings the pancake bell. So much sun as shineth on Pancake Tuesday, the like will shine every day in Lent. A hoar frost, third day crossed, the fourth lost. Thanks. Beans stowing. One for the mouse, one for the crow, one to rot, one to grow. So peas and beans, the wane of the moon, who soweth them sooner, he soweth too soon, that they with the planet may rest and rise, and flourish with bearing most plentiful wise. Tusser. If February gives much snow, a fine summer it doth foreshow. Now set for thy pot, best herbs to be got, for flowers go set, all sorts ye can get. Tusser. In Oxfordshire, the first bee seen in February is saluted, as this is said to bring good luck. Thrush's song. Did he do it? Did he do it? Come and see, come and see. Knee deep, cherry sweet, to me, to me, to me. The pretty lark, climbing the welkin clear, chaunts with a cheer, here, peer, I near, my dear, when stooping thence, seeming her full to woo, adieu, she cries, adieu, dear love, adieu. When after a rough and stormy day, there is a lull in the wind and the going down of the sun, old men say, us shall have better weather now, for the wind's gone to sleep with the sun. Devon. When a moorland shepherd meets his sheep on a winter's night, coming down from the hilltops, where they prefer to sleep, he knows that a storm is brewing. End of chapter 2.
Chapter 3 of a medley of weather lore. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Rebecca Eden Walker. A medley of weather lore by M.E.S. Wright. March. Ancient Cornish name, Miss Muirth. Horse month. Jewel, bloodstone. Courage and wisdom. Upon St. David's Day, put oats and barley in the clay. The leek is white and green, whereby is meant that Britons are both stout and eminent. Next to the lion and the unicorn, the leek's the fairest emblem that is worn. Harleian, M.S. On the 1st of March the crows begin to search. By the 1st of April they are sitting still. By the 1st of May they are flown away, crouping greedy back again, with October wind and rain. He who freely lops in March will get his lap full of fruit. Portuguese saying. Tossing his mane of snows in the wildest eddies and tangles, warlike March cometh in, hoarse with tempestuous breath, through all the moaning chimneys, and thwart all the hollows and angles, round the shuddering house, breathing of winter and death. W.D. Howells. Welcome, O March, whose kindly days and dry make April ready for the throstle's song, thou first redresser of the winter's wrong. W. Morris. Of gardens. For March there come violets, especially the single blue, which are the earliest. The early daffodil, the daisy, the almond tree in blossom, the peach tree in blossom, the cornelian dogwood tree in blossom, sweet briar. Bacon. A frosty winter and a dusty March, and a rain about April, and another about the Lammas time, when the corn begins to fill, is worth the plowie of gold, and all her pins their till. Come gather crocus cups with me, and dream of the summer coming, saffron and purple and snowy white, all awake to the first bee's humming. The white is there for the maiden heart, the purple is there for sorrow, the saffron is there for the true, true love, and they'll all be dead tomorrow. Sebastian Evans. Beside the garden path the crocus now puts forth its head to woo the genial breeze, and finds the snowdrop, hardier visitant, already basking in the solar ray. Upon the brook the watercresses float more greenly, and the bordering reeds exalt higher their speary summits. Joyously from stone to stone the ouzel flits along, startling the linnet from the hawthorn bough, while on the elm tree, overshadowing deep the low-roof cottage white, the blackbird sits, cheerily hymning the awakened year. Blank earth baldness clothes itself afresh, and breaks into the crocus purple hour. Tennyson. Spring's an expansive time, yet I don't trust March with its peck of dust, nor April with its rainbow-crowned brief showers, nor even May, whose flowers one frost may wither through the sunless hours. C. Rossetti. If it does not freeze on the 10th of March, a fertile year may be expected. In March is good graphing, the skillful do know, so long as the wind in the east do not blow, the moon being changed till past be the prime, for graphing and cropping is very good time. Tusser. In March and in April, from morning to night, in sowing and setting good housewives delight, to have in a garden or other like plot, to trim up their house and to furnish their pot. Tusser. To the daffodil. O love-star of the unbeloved March, when cold and shrill forth flows beneath a low dim-lighted arch the wind that beats sharp crag and barren hill, and keeps unfilmed the lately torpid rill. Herald and harbinger, with thee begins the year's great jubilee. Of her solemnities sublime, a sacristan whose gusty taper flashes through earliest morning vapor. Thou ringest dark nocturnes and dim prime. Birds that have yet no heart for song gain strength with thee to twitter, and warm at last, where hollies throng, the mirrored sunbeams glitter. A. de Vere. The softest turf of English green, with sloping walks and trees between, and then a bed of flowers half seen. Here daffodils in early spring and violets their offerings bring, and sweetest birds their hymns outsing. When country roads begin to thaw in mottled spots of damp and dust, and fences by the margin draw along the frozen crust their graphic silhouettes, I say, the spring is coming round this way. When suddenly some shadow bird goes wavering beneath the gaze, and through the hedge the moan is heard of kine that fain would graze in grasses new, I smile and say, the spring is coming round this way. Whitcomb Riley. Oh, what a dawn of day! How the March sun feels like May! All is blue again after last night's rain. Browning. No summer flowers are half so sweet as those of early spring. Under the firs is hunger and cold, under the broom is silver and gold. The spring, when wintry weather's all adone, and brooks do sparkle in the sun, and nazy-bilden rooks do flee with sticks towards their ellum tree, when birds do sing, and we can see upon the bough the buds o' spring, then I'm as happy as a king, aveiled with health and sunshine. For then the cowslips hanging flower, a-wedded in the sunny shower, do grow with violets sweet o' smell, beside the wood-screen greigle's bell, where drushes' eggs with sky-blue shell do lie in mossy nest among the thorns, while they do sing their song at evening in the sunsheen. W. Barnes. A chamomile bed. The more it is trodden, the more it will spread. Thunder in spring, cold will bring. March, search, April try, May will prove if you live or die. March wind and May sun makes clothes white and maids done. March does from April gain 3 days, and they're all in rain. Return by April in's bad kind, 3 days, and they're in wind. Sunset in a clear, easterly winds near. Sunset in a bank, westerly will not lack. Scotland. In the morning look toward the southeast. In the evening look toward the northwest. China. Pale moon doth rain, red moon doth blow, white moon doth neither rain nor snow. Latin proverb. Any person neglecting to kill the first butterfly he may see for the season will have ill luck throughout the year. Devon and Hants. St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. Gervase of Tilbury gives a legend that on St. Patrick's Day, to do homage to him, the fish rise from the sea, pass in procession before his altar, and then disappear. Divination by a Daffodil. When a daffodil I see hanging down his head towards me, guess I may what I must be. First, I shall decline my head. Secondly, I shall be dead. Lastly, safely buried. Herrick. Hail once again that sweet strong note. Loud on, my loftiest larch, thou quaverest with thy mottled throat, brave minstrel of bleak March. A. Austen. March 21st, spring begins. Where the wind is at 12 o'clock on the 21st of March, there she'll bide for 3 months afterwards. Surrey and Hants. When the wind blows from northeast, a uniformly dry quarter during the week of the vernal equinox, it is an all but unfailing guide to the general character of the ensuing season. Our vernal signs, the ram begins, then comes the bull, in May the twins, the crab in June, next Leo shines, and Virgo ends the northern signs. The balance brings autumnal fruits, the scorpion stings, the archer shoots, December's goat brings wintry blast, Aquarius rain, the fish come last. E.C. Brewer. Spring is here when you can tread on 9 daisies at once on the village green. There is a saying that if boys be beaten with an elder stick, it hinders their growth. When our Lord falls in Our Lady's lap, England will meet with a great mishap. There is a tradition amongst New Forest gypsies that you must not soap your face on Good Friday, as it is said that soap suds were thrown in our Lord's face on the day of his crucifixion. Thou wilt remember one warm morn, when winter crept aged from the earth and spring's first breath blew soft from the moist hills. The blackthorn boughs so dark in the bare wood, when glistening in the sunshine, were white with coming buds, like the bright side of a sorrow, and the banks had violets opening from sleep like eyes. Browning. If apples bloom in March, in vain form you'll search. If apples bloom in April, why then they'll be plentiful. If apples bloom in May, you may eat 'em night and day. From whatever quarter the wind blows on Palm Sunday, it will continue to blow for the greater part of the coming summer. Hants. As many days of fog in March, so many days of frost in May, on corresponding days. Hants. In spring, a tub of rain makes a spoonful of mud. In autumn, a spoonful of rain makes a tub of mud. There is a tradition that twin lambs are scarce in leap year. Sleep with your head to the north, you will have sickness. To the south, long life. To the east, health and riches. To the west, fame. End of Chapter 3. Recording by Rebecca Eden Walker.
Chapter 4 of A Medley of Weather Lore. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by WanderingWalker. A Medley of Weather Lore by M.E.S. Wright. Chapter 4. April. Ancient Cornish name, Mezebral Primrose Month. Jewel for the month, Sapphire. Frees from enchantment. If it thunders on All Fool's Day, it brings good crops of grain and hay. The first thunder of the year awakes all the frogs and all the snakes. MS 250 years old. The first Monday in April, Cain was born and Abel was slain. The second Monday in August, Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed. The 31st of December, Judas was born, who betrayed Christ. These are dangerous days to begin any business, fall sick, or undertake any journey. A wet Good Friday and Easter Day brings plenty of grass but little good hay. Leicester, parsley sown on Good Friday bears a heavier crop than that sown on any other day. Parsley seed goes 9 times to the devil before coming up. It only comes up partially because the devil takes his tithe of it. Old country sayings. Oh, faint, delicious springtide violet, thin odour, like a key, turns noiselessly in memory's wards to let a thought of sorrow free. W. Story. What affections a violet wakes, what love little islands twice seen in their lakes, can the wild water lily restore, what landscapes I read in the primrose's looks, and what pictures of pebbled and minnowy brooks in the vetches that tangle their shore. Campbell. Descend, sweet April, from watery bough, and liberal strow the ground with budding flowers, with leafless crocus, leaf-veiled violet, auricular with powdered cut primrose, that loves to lurk below the hawthorn shade. Graham. Spring is strong and virtuous, broad sowing, cheerful, plenteous, quickening underneath the mould grains beyond the price of gold, so deep and large her bounties are, that one broad long midsummer day shall to the planet overpay the ravage of a year of war. Emerson. In wild moor or sterile heath, bright whip the golden firs beneath, hanging bush, shelving stone, the little stone chap dwells alone, or near his brother of the wind, among the foremost to begin his pretty love songs tinkling sound, and rest low seated on the ground, not heedless of the winding path that leads him through the secret grass. Bishop Chant. The lark sung loud, the music at his heart had called him early. Upward straight he went, and more in nature's choir the merriest part. C. Turner. How violets came blue. Love on a day, wise poets tell, some time in wrangling spent, whether the violet should excel, or she in sweetest scent. But Venus having lost the day, poor girl, she fell on you, and beat ye so as some dare say her blows did make ye blue. Herrick. April 14th, first cuckoo day, Sussex. In former times, Shropshire labourers used to give up work for the rest of the day when they heard the first note of the cuckoo. There is an old superstition that where one hears the cuckoo first, there one will spend most of the year. Use maketh mastery, this hath been said alway, but all is not alway as all men do say. In April the cuckoo can sing her song by rote. In June of June she cannot sing a note. At first cuckoo sing, still can she do. At last cook, 6 cooks to 1 coo. John Haywood, 1587. Ode the Cuckoo. Hail, beauteous stranger of the grove, thou messenger of spring. Now heaven repairs thy rural seat, and woods thy welcome sing. What time the daisy decks the green, thy certain voice we hear. Hast thou a star to guide thy path, or mark the rolling year? Michael Bruce. Cuckoo, cuckoo, the first we've heard. Cuckoo, cuckoo. God bless the bird. Scarce time to take his breath. And now, cuckoo, he's safe. Cuckoo, cuckoo, free. Cheers. And let the welkin ring. He has not folded wings since he last saw Algiers. T. E. Brown. April 15th, first swallow day, Sussex. He comes who loves to bear soft sunny hours and seasons fair. The swallow hither comes to rest, disables wing and snowy breast. April and May, the keys of the year. Spanish. The first Sunday after Easter settles the weather for the whole summer. Sweden. The rippling smile of the April rain. A. Austin. A cold April the barn will fill. Although it rains, throw not away thy watering pot. Plant your taters when you will. They won't come up before April. Wilts. When there are many more swifts and swallows in the spring, expect a hot and dry summer. April cold with dropping rain, willows and lilacs brings again the whistle of returning birds and trumpet lowing of the herds. I met Queen Spring in a hangar that slopes to the river grey. Yestreen the thrushes sang her, but she came herself today. Bob Dylan. When the sloe tree is as white as a sheet, sow your barley whether it be dry or wet. As yet but single, the bluebells with the grasses mingle, but soon azure will be scrolled upon the primrose cloth of gold. A. Austin. April, pride of murmuring winds of spring that beneath the winnowed air, trapped with subtle nets and sweet Flora's feet to fleet and fair. Below, hark, the hours are softly calling, bidding spring arise, to listen to the raindrops falling from the cloudy skies, to listen to earth's weary voices louder every day, bidding her no longer linger on her charmed way, but hasten to a task of beauty scarcely yet begun. By the first bright day of summer it should all be done. A. A. Proctor. To the blackbird. Golden bill, lo the peep of day, all the air is cool and still from the elm tree on the hill. Chant away, while the moon drops down the west like thy mate upon her nest, and the stars before the sun melt like snowflakes one by one. Let thy loud and welcome lay pour along, few notes but strong, Montgomery. Fled are the frosts, and now the fields appear, reclothed in fresh and verdant diaper. Thawed are the snows, and now the lusty spring gives to each mead a neat enamelling. The palms put forth their gems, and every tree now swaggers in a leafy gallantry. Herrick. Ye who have felt and seen spring's morning smiles and soul and living in green, say, did you give the thrilling transport way? Did your eye brighten when young lambs at play leaped o'er your path with animated pride, or grazed in merry clusters by your side? Bloomfield. When in the spring the gay southwest awakes, and rapid gas now hide, now clears the sun round each green branch a fitful glimmering shakes, and through the lawn and flowery thickets run, tossed out of shadow into splendid brief, the silver shivers of the underleaf. F. Doyle. April. Winter is quite forced here, and locks up underground. Does every sense have several objects? Trees have got their heads, the fields their coats, that now the shining meads do boast the paunch lily and the rose, and every flower doth laugh as zephyr blows. The seas are now more even than the land, the rivers run as smooth by his hand, only their heads are crisped by his stroke. Ben Jonson. Of gardens. In April follow the double white violet, the wallflower, the stock gillyflower, the cowslip, flower de lis, and lilies of all natures, rosemary flowers, the tulipa, the double peony, the pale daffodil, the French honeysuckle, the cherry tree in blossom, the damascene, the plum trees in blossom, the white thorn in leaf, the lilac tree. Bacon. The primrose, lady of the spring, the lovely flower that first doth show her face, whose worthy praise the pretty birds do sing, whose presence sweet the winter's cold doth chase. Almond blossom, blossom of the almond trees, April's gift to April's bees, birthday ornament of spring, Flora's fairest daughterling. Come in when no flowerets dare trust the cruel outer air, when the royal kingcup bowl dares not don this throat of gold, and the dirty blackthorn spray keeps his silver for the May. Come in when no flowerets would save thy lowly sisterhood, early violets blue and white dying for their love of light. Edwin Arnold. There is a rapturous movement, a green growing among the hills and valleys once again, and silent rivers of delight are flowing into the hearts of men. There is a purple weaving on the heather, night drops down starry gold upon the firs, wild rivers and wild birds sing songs together, dead nature breathes and stirs. Trench. April, the hawthorn and the eglantine, purple woodbine, streaked pink, and lily cup and rose, and thyme and May drum are spreading where thou art treading, and their sweet eyes for thee unclose. The little nightingale sits singing high on leafy spray, and in her fitful strain doth run a thousand and a thousand changes, with voiced ranges through every sweet vision below. The ballad singers and the troubadours, the street musicians of the heavenly city, the birds who make sweet music for us all in our dark hours, as David did for Saul, the thrush carols at the dawn of day, from the green steeples of the piney woods, linnet and meadowlark, and all the throng that dwell in nests and have the gift of song. Longfellow, the lark that shuns on lofty boughs to build, her humble nest lies silent in the field. But if the promise of a cloudless day, Aurora smiling bids her rise and play, the street she shows 'twas not for want of voice or power to climb she made so low a choice. Singing the mounts her airy wings are stretched towards heaven, as if from heaven a voice she fetched. Waller. Lark's Song. Wessex. Twy-ee, twy-ee, there's not a shoemaker in all the world can make a shoe for me. Why so, why so? Because my heel's as long as my toe. Sweet April, smiling through her tears, shakes raindrops from her hair and disappears. End of chapter 4. Recording by WanderingWalker.
Chapter 5 of A Medley of Weather Lore. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. A Medley of Weather Lore by M.E.S. Wright. Chapter 5. May. Ancient Cornish name, Mismi, flowery month. Jewel for the month, emerald, discovers false friends. Lo, the young month comes, all smiling, up this way. The Irish say that fire and salt are the two most sacred things given to man, and if you give them away on May Day, you give away your luck for the year. The fair maid who, the 1st of May, goes to the fields at break of day, and washes in dew from the hawthorn tree, will ever after handsome be. It is unlucky to go on the water the 1st Monday in May. Irish saying. Whoever is ill in the month of May will for the rest of the year be healthy and gay. Leave cropping from May till Michaelmas Day. The last year's leaf, its time is brief upon the beechen spray. The green bud springs, the young bird sings, old leaf, make room for May. Be gone, fly away, make room for May. O green bud, smile on me a while. O young bird, let me stay. What joy have we, old leaf, in thee? Make room for May. Be gone, fly away, make room for May. Henry Taylor. There are 12 months in all the year, as I hear many say, but the merriest month in all the year is the merry month of May. They who bathe in May will soon be laid in clay. They who bathe in June will sing another tune. Yorkshire. Come listen a while to what we shall say concerning the season, the month we call May. For the flowers they are springing, and the birds they do sing, and the baziers, auriculas, are sweet in the morning of May. When the trees are in bloom, and the meadows are green, the sweet smiling cowslips are plain to be seen. The sweet ties of nature which we plainly do see, for the baziers are sweet in the morning of May. Lancashire. Summer is near, and buttercups blow, and sunshine glimmers aloft, and winds play tunes which merrily flow, though in melody mellow and soft. Then sing the song of the green springtime, the season of promise and bloom, when buds have birth and the gladdened earth awakes from her wintry tomb. Hogg. Flowery May from her green lap throws the yellow cowslip and the pale primrose. Milton. Of gardens. In May and June come pinks of all sorts, especially the blush pink, roses of all kinds, except the musk, which comes later, honeysuckles, strawberries, bugloss, columbine, the French marigold, Phlos africanus, cherry tree in fruit, ribes, figs in fruit, rasps, vine flowers, lavender in flowers, the sweet Saturn orchis with the white flower, Herba muscaria, grape hyacinth. Lilium convallium, the apple tree in blossom. Bacon. A lovely morn, so still, so very still, it hardly seems a growing day of spring. Though all the odorous buds are blossoming, and the small matin birds were glad and shrill some hours ago. But now the woodland rill murmurs along, the only vocal thing, save when the wee wren flits with stealthy wing, and cons by fits and bits her evening trill. Hartley Coleridge. If you sweep the house with blossom broom in May, you are sure to sweep the head of the house away. Come out of doors, 'tis spring, 'tis May. The trees be green, the fields be gay. The weather warm, the winter blast, with all his train of clouds is past. Mother of blossoms, and of all that's fair afield from spring to fall, the cuckoo over white-waved seas do come to sing in thy green trees, and butterflies in giddy flight do gleam the most by thy gay light. W. Barnes. All the land in flowery squares, beneath a broad and equal blowing wind, smelts of the coming summer as one large cloud drew downward. But all else of heaven was pure, up to the sun, and May from verge to verge. Tennyson. Hush, hush, the nightingale begins to sing, and stops, as ill-contented with her note, then breaks out from the bush with hurried wing, restless and passionate. She tunes her throat, laments a while in wavering trills, and then floods with a stream of sweetness all the glen. Jean Ingelow. Dark winter is waning, bright summer is reigning, the world is regaining its beauty in May. The wildwoods are ringing, with birds sweetly singing, where dewdrops are clinging to floweret and spray. The sunshine entrances my heart when it dances, and glimmers and glances through greenwood so gay. From Celtic Lyre. Old May Day, May 11th. On, what a May Day! What a dear May Day! Feel what a breeze, love, undulates o'er us. Meadow and trees, love, glisten before us. Light in all showers falls from the flowers. Hear how they ask us, come and sit down. From Venetian, Barati. Old May Day is the usual time for turning out cattle into the pastures, though frequently then very bare of grass. Hone. The three most unpopular saints in the calendar are Pancratius, Servatius, and Bonifacius, known both in Germany and Austria as the, quote, Three Icemen. And during May 12th, 13th, and 14th, many gardeners keep nightly watch and light outdoor fires. Who shears his sheep before St. Gervasius or Servatius Day loves more his wool than his sheep. When the corn is over the crow's back, the frost is over. Cheshire. Go and look at oats in May. You will see them blown away. Go and look again in June. You will sing another tune. The oak before the ash, prepare your summer sash. The ash before the oak, prepare your summer cloak. Dorset. A windy May makes a fair year. Cut thistles in May, they grow in a day. Cut thistles in June, that is too soon. Cut thistles in July, then they will die. In the middle of May comes the tale of winter. France. When passing o'er the streamlet, one fragrant morn in May, the meadows, wet with dewdrops, shone bright at dawn of day. The crimson-breasted robin was pouring forth his lay. The cuckoo's note of gladness arose from scented spray. The mavis warbles loudly from yonder leafy tree. The wren now joins the chorus and chirps aloud with glee. The linnet is preparing her cheerfulness to show, while blackcocks greet their partners with cooing soft and low. From Celtic Lyre. May's warm, slow, yellow, moonlit summer nights. Among East Coast folk, there is a pretty belief, very wildly held, that in May, when the seafowl are hatching out on the saltings, Providence checks the spring tides so that they do not rise high enough to interfere with the birds. These they call by the appropriate name of, quote, bird tides, unquote. The linnet's warble, sinking toward a close, hints to the thrush 'tis time for their repose. The shrill-voiced thrush is heedless, and again the monitor revives his own sweet strain. But both will soon be mastered, and the copse be left as silent as the mountain-tops, ere some commanding star, dismissed to rest, the throng of rooks that now from twig or nest, after a steady flight on homebound wings, and a last game of mazy hoverings around their ancient grove, with cawing noise, disturb the liquid music's equipoise. Wordsworth. The starlings are come, and merry May, and June, and the whitethorn, and the hay, and the violet, and then the rose, and all sweet things are coming. He that would live for aye must eat sage in May. A dry May and a dripping June brings all things into tune. Bedford. Hawthorn bloom and elder flowers will fill a house with evil powers. Warwick. The Simplers, 17th century. Here's pennyroyal and marigolds. Come, buy my nettle tops. Here's watercress and scurvy grass. Come, buy my sage of virtue, ho! Come buy my wormwood and mugwort. Here's all fine herbs of every sort. Here's southern wood that's very good, dandelion and houseleek. Here's dragon's tongue and wood sorrel, with bear's foot and horehound. Lazy cattle wading in the water, where the ripples dimple round the buttercups of gold. Whitcomb Riley. When the dimpled water slippeth, full of laughter on its way, and her wing the wagtail dippeth, running by the brink at play. When the poplar leaves a tremble, turn their edges to the light, and the far-off clouds resemble veils of gauze most clear and white, and the sunbeams fall and flutter, woodland moss and branches brown, and the glossy finches chatter, up and down, up and down. Though the heart be not attending, having music of her own, on the grass, through meadows wending, it is sweet to walk alone. Jean Ingelow. Moonwort. There is an herb, some say, whose virtue's such, in the pasture, only with a touch, unshods the new-shod steed. Withers. Wood pigeon. Coo-pee-coo, me and my poor two. 2 sticks across and a little bit of moss, and it will do. Knots. The pigeon never knoweth woe, until a benting it doth go. Old couplet. If you scare the flycatcher away, no good luck will with you stay. Somerset. May 29th, Yak Bob Day. Westmoreland. May, thou month of rosy beauty, month when pleasure is a duty, month of maids that milk the kine, bosom rich and breath divine, month of bees and month of flowers, month of blossom-laden bowers, month of little hands with daisies, lovers' love and poets' praises. O thou merry month complete, May, thy very name is sweet. Leigh Hunt. When clamor that doves in the lindens keep mingles with musical flash of the ware, where drowned green tresses of crow's foot creep, then comes in the sweet o' the year. When big trout late in the twilight leap, when the cuckoo clamoreth far and near, when glittering scythes in the hayfield reap, then comes in the sweet of the year. Andrew Lang. Oh, come quickly, show thee soon, come at once with all thy noon, manly, joyous, gypsy June. Leigh Hunt. End of chapter 5.
Chapter 6 of a Medley of Weather Lore. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. A Medley of Weather Lore by M.E.S. Wright. Chapter 6. June. Ancient Cornish name, Mis Afam, summer month or head of summer. Drill for the month, Agat, long life, health, and prosperity. When the white pinks begin to appear, then is the time your sheep to shear. Old Rhyme. Over the meadow in sunshine and shadow, the meadow larks trill and the bumblebees drone. Whitcomb Riley. If it raineth on the 8th of June, a wet harvest men will see. The broom having plenty of blossoms o'er the walnut tree is a sign of a fruitful year of corn. A calm June puts the farmer in tune. A dripping June puts all things in tune. Come away, the sunny hours, woo thee far to founts and bowers. O'er the very waters now, in their play, flowers are shedding beauty's glow. Come away. Where the lily's tender gleam quivers on the glancing stream. Come away. All the air is filled with sound, soft and sultry and profound. Murmurs through the shadowy grass lightly stray. Faint winds whisper as they pass, come away. Where the bees' deep music swells from the trembling foxglove bells, come away. Mrs. Hemans. Pansies, pansies, how I love you, pansies, jaunty-faced, laughing-lipped, and dewy-eyed with glee. Whitcomb Riley. The flower-beds all were liberal of delight, roses in heaps were there, both red and white, lilies angelical and gorgeous glooms, of wallflowers and blue hyacinths and blooms, hanging thick clusters from light bows, in short, all the sweet cups to which the bees resort. Leigh Hunt. Oh, the rosy month of June I hail as summer's queen. The hills and valleys sing in joy, and all the woods are green, and streamlets flow in gladsome song. The birds are all in tune, and nature smiles in summer's pride in the rosy month of June. The 6th month of the year is the month of June, when the weather's too hot to be borne. The master doth say, as he goes on his way, tomorrow my sheep shall be shorn. Somerset. Hear the rosebuds in June, and the violets are blowing. The small birds they warble from every green bough. Hear the pink and the lily, and the daffodowndilly, to adorn and perfume the sweet meadows in June. 'Tis all before the plough the fat oxen go slow, but the lads and lasses to the sheep-shearing go. Sussex Song. Below the hills an ash, below the ash white elder flowers do blow. Below the elder is a bed o' Robin Hoods a blushing red, and there we nunch us all a spread. The haymakers, we each a cup o' drink, do smile to see hold up the rain and sky a clearin'. W. Barnes. By fragrant gales in frolic play, the floating corn's green waves are fanned, and all above broad summer day, and all below bright summer land. Owen Meredith. The sweet west wind is flying over the purple sea, and the amber daylight dying on roadway, hill, and tree. The cattle bells are ringing among the slanting downs, and children's voice flinging glad echoes through the towns. O summer day, so soon away! The happy-hearted sigh and say, Sweet is thy light, and sad thy flight, and sad the words, Good night, good night. The wan white clouds are trailing low o'er the level plain, and the wind brings with its wailing the chill of the coming rain. Fringed by the faded heather, white pools of water lie, and birds and leaves together whirl through the evening sky. Haste thee away, O winter day! The weary-hearted weep and say, Sad is thy light, and slow thy flight, and sweet the words, Good night, good night. 'Twas one of the charmed days when the genius of God doth flow. The wind may alter 20 ways, a tempest cannot blow. It may blow north, it still is warm, or south, it still is clear, or east, it smells like a clover farm, or west, no thunder fear. Emerson. Where woodbines wander and the wallflower pushes its way alone, and where in wafts of fragrance sweet briar bushes make themselves known, with banks of violets for southern breezes to seek and find, and trestled jessamine that trembles in the summer wind, where clove carnations overgrow the places where they were set, and mist-like in the intervening spaces creeps mignonette. St. Barnabas Day, Old Style, June 21st. Barnaby bright, the longest day and the shortest night. The ignorant believe that any person fasting on Midsummer Eve and sitting in the church porch will, at midnight, see the spirits of the persons of that parish who will die that year come and knock at the church door in the order and succession in which they will die. Hone. When mackerel ceaseth from the seas, John Baptist brings grass, beef, and peas. Tusser. 1570. Then doth the joyful feast of John the Baptist take his turn, when bonfires great with lofty flame in every town do burn, and young men round about with maids do dance in every street, with garlands wrought of motherworth, or else with vervain sweet. Barnaby Googe. 'Twas midsummer, the warm earth teemed with flowers, the kingcup's gold, the perfumed clover mid the crested grass, the plantains rearing high their flowery crowns above the daisy coverts, overhead the hawthorns, white and rosy, bent with bloom, the broad-fanned chestnuts spiked with frequent flowers, and white gold-hearted lilies on the stream. Lewis Morris. Old Kentish Song. My one man, my 2 men, will mow me down the meadow. My 3 men, my 4 men, will carry away together. My 5 men, my 6 men, and there ain't no more, will mow me hay and carry away, and mow me down the meadow. Soon will high midsummer pomps come on, soon will the musk carnation break and swell, soon shall we have gold-dusted snapdragon, sweet William with his homely cottage smell, and stocks in a fragrant blow. Matthew Arnold. Signs of rain. The hollow winds begin to blow, the clouds look black, the glass is low, the soot falls down, the spaniels sleep, the spiders from the cobwebs creep. Last night the sun went pale to bed, the moon in halo hid her head, the boding shepherd heaves a sigh, for see, a rainbow spans the sky. The walls are damp, the ditches smell, closed is the pink-eyed pimpernel. Hark! How the chairs and tables crack! Old Betty's joints are on the rack. Loud quack the ducks, the peacocks cry, the distant hills are looking nigh. How restless are the snorting swine! The busy flies disturb the kine. Lower o'er the grass the swallow wings, the cricket too, how loud it sings. Puss on the hearth with velvet paws sits smoothing o'er her whiskered jaws. Through the clear stream the fishes rise, and nimbly catch the incautious flies. The sheep are seen at early light, cropping the meads with eager bite. Though June, the air is cold and chill, the mellow blackbird's voice is still. The glowworms, numerous and bright, illumed the dewy dell last night. At dusk the squalid toad was seen, hopping, crawling o'er the green. The frog has lost his yellow vest, and in a dingy suit is dressed. The leech disturbed is newly risen, quite to the summit of his prison. The whirling winds the dust obeys, and in the rapid eddy plays. My dog, so altered in his taste, quits mutton bones on grass to feast. And see yon rooks, how odd their flight! They imitate the gliding kite, or seem precipitate to fall, as if they felt the piercing ball. 'Twill surely rain, I see with sorrow, our jaunt must be put off tomorrow. An excuse for not accepting the invitation of a friend to make a country excursion. Edward Jenner. Pondweed sinks before rain. Fir cones close for wet, open for fine weather. Cows and sheep lie down before rain to keep a dry place to lie on. When the clouds go up the hill, they'll send down water to turn a mill. Hans. If nights 3 dewless there be, 'twill rain, you're sure to see. If bees stay at home, rain will soon come. If they fly away, fine will be the day. 1656. If the down flieth off colt's foot, dandelion and thistles, when there is no wind, it is a sign of rain. When a cock drinks in summer, it will rain a little after. Italy. When sheep begin to go up the mountains, shepherds say it will be fine weather. Seagull, seagull, sit on the sand, it's never good weather when you're on the land. Pimpernel, Pimpernel, tell me true, whether the weather be fine or no. No heart can think, no tongue can tell the virtues of the pimpernel. When rain causes bubbles to rise in water it falls upon, the shower will last long. Essex. A Saturday's rainbow, a week's rotten weather. South Ireland. A sunshiny shower never lasts half an hour. Bedford. When oxen do lick themselves against the hair, it betokeneth rain to follow shortly after. Beasts do take comfort in a moist air, and it maketh them eat their meat better, and therefore sheep will get up betimes in the morning to feed against rain, and cattle and deer and coneys will feed hard before rain, and a heifer will put up his nose and snuff in the air against rain. Worms, vermin, etc. likewise do foreshew rain, for earthworms will come forth, and moles will cast up more, and fleas bite more against rain. Bacon. To talk of the weather is nothing but folly, for when it rains on the hill, the sun shines in the valley. Mares, tails, and mackerel sky, not long wet, nor not long dry. Berkshire. When the wind veers against the sun, trust it not, for back 'twill run. Rainbow to windward, foul falls the day, rainbow to leeward, damp runs away. When sheep do huddle by tree and bush, bad weather's coming with wind and slush. A rainbow at morn, put your hook in the corn, a rainbow at eve, put your head in the sheave. Cornwall. Clouds without rain in summer indicate wind. Saturday's moon, Sunday seen, the foulest weather there ever hath been. When the new moon comes in at midnight, or within 30 minutes before or after, the following month will be fine. Saturday change and Sunday full is always wet and always wool. Northens. If mists in the new moon, rain in the old. If mists in the old moon, rain in the new. A fog and a small moon bring an easterly wind soon. Cornwall. If Saturday's moon comes once in 7 years, it comes too soon. Full moon. The nearer to 12 in the afternoon, the drier the moon. The nearer to 12 in the forenoon, the wetter the moon. Hereford. When the moon is at the full, mushrooms you may freely pull, but when the moon is on the wane, wait ere you think to pluck again. The moon and the weather may change together, but change of the moon does not change the weather. If we'd no moon at all, and that may seem strange, we still should have a weather that's subject to change. Midsummer Fairies. The pastoral cowslips are our little pets, and daisy stars, whose firmament is green, pansies and those veiled nuns, meek violets, sighing to that warm world from which they scream, and golden daffodils plucked from May's queen, and lovely harebells quaking on the heath, and hyacinth long since a fair youth seen, whose tuneful voice turned fragrance in his breath, kissed by sad Zephyr, guilty of his death. Hood. The sun has long been set, the stars are out by 2s and 3s, the little birds are piping yet among the bushes and the trees. There's a cuckoo and 1 or 2 thrushes, and a far-off wind that rushes, and a sound of water that gushes, and the cuckoo's sovereign cry fills all the hollow of the sky. Who would go parading in London and masquerading on such a night in June, with the beautiful soft half-moon and all these innocent blisses, on such a night as this is? Wordsworth. When the wind's in the south, the rain's in its mouth. No weather is ill if the wind be still. Old saying. All through the sultry hours of June, from morning blithe to golden noon, until the star of evening climbs the grey blue east a world too soon, there sings a thrush within the limes. God's poet, hid in foliage green, sings endless songs, himself unseen. Right seldom come his silent times. Linger, ye summer hours serene. Sing on, dear thrush, amid the limes. Mortimer Collins. A wet June makes a dry September. Cornwall. End of chapter 6.
Chapter 7 of A Medley of Weather Lore. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Rebecca Eden Walker. A Medley of Weather Lore by M.E.S. Wright. Chapter 7. July. Ancient Cornish name, Misgorathum, head of the summer month. Jewel for the month, ruby. Discovers poison. If the 1st of July be rainy weather, 'twill rain more or less for 4 weeks together. In my nostrils the summer wind blows the exquisite scent of the rose. Oh, for the golden, golden wind, breaking the buds as it goes, breaking the buds and bending the grass and spilling the scent of the rose. Aldrich. I sometimes think that never blows so red the rose as where some buried Caesar bled, that every hyacinth the garden wears dropped in its lap from some once lovely head. Omar Khayyam. Of gardens, In July come gilliflowers of all varieties, musk roses, the lime tree in blossom, early pears and plums in fruit, jennetings, quadlins, bacon. A tuft of evening primroses, o'er which the mind may hover till it dozes, or which it well might take a pleasant sleep, but that is till ever startled by the leap of buds into ripe flowers. Keats. Now the glories of the year may be viewed the best, and the earth doth now appear in her fairest garments dressed. Sweetly smelling plants and flowers do perfume the garden bowers. Hill and valley, wood and field, mixed with pleasure profits yield. George Withers. Blue flags, yellow flags, flags all freckled, which will you take? Yellow, blue, speckled. Take which you will, speckled, blue, yellow. Each in his way has not a fellow. C. Rossetti. Swelling downs, where sweet air stirs blue harebells lightly, and where prickly furze buds lavish gold. Keats. Mouse ear or scorpion grass, any manner of way minister to horses, brings this help unto them, that they cannot be hurt while the smith is shoeing of them. Therefore it is called of many herba clavorum, the herb of nails. Old saying before 1660. Sweet is the rose, but grows upon a braer. Sweet is the juniper, but sharp his bough. Sweet is the eglantine, but pricketh ne'er. Sweet is the fir bloom, but his branch is rough. Sweet is the cypress, but his rind is tough. Sweet is the nut, but bitter is his pill. Sweet is the broom flower, but yet sour enough. And sweet is moly, but his root is ill. So every sweet with sour is tempered still. That maketh it the coveted be more. For easy things that may be got at will, all sorts of men do set but little store. Spenser. Where the copsewood is the greenest, where the fountain glistens sheenest, where the morning dew lies longest, there the lady fern grows strongest. Walter Scott. Fair days or dawns deceitful. Fair was the dawn, and but e'en now the skies showed like to cream inspired with strawberries. But on a sudden all was changed and gone that smiled in that first sweet complexion. Then thunderclaps and lightning did conspire to tear the world, or set it all on fire. What trust to things below, when as we see, as men, the heavens have their hypocrisy? Herrick. Summer in the penniless can stir the frozen prayer. Summer sends a golden glow through needy bones awhile. Bright and breezy is the dawn, and soft the balmy air. Summer, 'tis the breath of heaven, 'tis God's own gracious smile. From Victor Hugo. The nightingale and the cuckoo both grow hoarse at the rising of Sirius, the dog star. Not rend off, but cut off ripe bean with a knife for hindering stalk of her vegetative life. So gather the lowest, and leaving the top, shall teach thee a trick for to double thy crop. Tusser. A shower of rain in July, when the corn begins to fill, is worth a plough of oxen, and all belongs theretil. St. Swithin, July 15th. St. Swithin's Day, if thou dost reign, for 40 days it will remain. St. Swithin's Day, if thou be fair, for 40 days 'twill rain na mair. Scotland. St. Swithin christens the apples. No tempest, good July, lest the corn look ruly. While wormwood hath seed, get a handful or twain to save against March, to make flea to refrain. Where chamber is sweeped and wormwood is strown, no flea for his life dare abide to be known. The Flower Girl, 1. Come buy my mystic flowers, all ranged with due consideration, and culled in fancy's fairy bowers, to suit each age and every station. 2. For those who late in life would tarry, I've snowdrops, winter's children cold, and those who seek for wealth to marry may buy the flaunting marigold. 3. I've ragwort, ragged robins too, cheap flowers for those of low condition. For bachelors I've buttons blue, and crown imperials for ambition. 4. For sportsmen keen who range the lea, I've pheasant's eye and sprigs of heather. For courtiers with the supple knee, I've parasites and prince's feather. 5. For thin tall fops I keep the rush, for peasants still am nightshade weeding. For rakes I've devil in the bush, for sighing streffens love's lies bleeding. But fairest blooms affection's hand for constancy and worth disposes, and gladly weaves at your command a wreath of amaranths and roses. Mrs. Corbould. London Street Call, about 200 years old. Will you buy, lady, buy my sweet blooming lavender? There are 16 blue branches a penny. Will you buy it once? Will you buy it twice? It makes your clothes smell so very nice. It will scent your pocket handkerchief, and it will scent your clothes as well. Now is your time, and do not delay. Come and buy your lavender, all fresh cut from Mitcham every day. I do not want change. I want the same old and loved things, the same wild flowers, the same trees and soft ash green. The turtle doves, the blackbirds, the colored yellow hammers sing, singing so long as there is light to cast a shadow on the dial, for such is the measure of his song, and I want them in the same place. Richard Jefferies. St. James's Day, New Style, July 25th. Till St. James's Day be past and gone, there may be hops, or there may be none. Hereford. July, to whom the dog-star in her train St. James gives oysters, and St. Swithin rain. Churchill. O golden, golden summer, what is it thou hast done? Thou hast chased each vernal roamer with thy fiercely burning sun. Glad was the cuckoo's hail, where may we find it now? Thou hast driven the nightingale from the waving hawthorn bough. Thou hast shrunk the mighty river, thou hast made the small brook flee, and the light gales faintly quiver through the dark and shadowy tree. W. Howitt. End of Chapter 7. Recording by Rebecca Eden Walker.
Chapter 8 of A Medley of Weather Lore. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Brandy J. A Medley of Weather Lore by M.E.S. Wright. Chapter 8. Ancient Cornish Name. Ms. East, Harvest Month. Jewel for the month, sardonyx, ensures happiness in marriage. August 1st, Loaf Mass Day. Day of offering first fruits, when a loaf was given to the priests in place of the first fruits. At latter Lamas, i.e. never. The August gold of earth. All things rejoice beneath the sun, the weeds, the river, and the cornfields, and the reeds, the willow leaves that glance in the light breeze, and the firm foliage of the larger trees. Shelley. Of gardens. In August come plums of all sorts in fruit, pears, apricots, burberries, filberds, muskmelons, monkszhoods of all color. Bacon. August 1st. Snipe shooting may begin. Snipe song. Don't take. Local name for snipe. Nip cake, don't take. Don't take, don't take. Gie the lasses milk and bread, and gie the laddies don't take. Don't take, don't take. Scottish Midlands. August 5th. Old Style. St. James Day. Oyster Day. Who eats oysters on St. James Day will never want. Wheat sways heavy, oats are airy, barley bows a graceful head, Short and small shoots up canary, each of these is someone's bread. Bread for man or bread for beast, or at very least a bird's savory feast. C. Rossetti. It is always windy in barley harvests. It blows off the heads for the poor. On Thursday at 3, look out and you'll see what Friday will be. No weather is ill if the wind be still. For morning rain, leave not your journey. Never a fisherman med there be, if fishes could hear as well as see. Kent. If the sage tree thrives and grows, the master's not master, and that he knows. Warwick. A garden must be looked into, and dressed as a body, to smell wild thyme and renew spirits and energy in long walks under an August sun. Friday's a day as'll have his trick, the fairest or foulest day o' the wick. Dry August and warm doth harvest no harm. Put in the sickles and reap, for the morning of harvest is red, and the long, large ranks of corn, colored and clothed as the morn, stand thick in the fields and deep, for them that faint to be fed. Swinburne. Summer is purple and drowsed with repletion. Now yellow harvests wave on every field, now bending boughs the hoary chestnut yield, now loaded trees resign their annual store, and on the ground the mellow fruitage pour. Beattie, from Virgil. August 16th, St. Roche's Day. Formerly celebrated in England as a general harvest home. Good huswives in summer will save their own seeds against the next year as occasion needs. One seed for another to make an exchange, with fellowly neighborhood seemeth not strange. Tusser. On one side is a field of drooping oats, through which the poppies show their scarlet coats. Keats. August 24th, St. Bartholomew's Day. If St. Bartholomew's Day be misty, the morning beginning with a hoar frost, then cold weather will soon ensue, and a sharp winter attended with many biting frosts. Thomas Passenger. St. Bartlemy's mantle wipes dry all the tears that St. Swithin can cry. Portugal. Happy Britannia! Rich is thy soil and merciful thy clime, thy streams unfailing in the summer's drought. Unmatched thy guardian oaks, thy valleys float with golden waves, and on thy mountains flocks, bleat numberless, while roving round their sides, bellow the blackening herds in lusty droves. Beneath thy meadows glow, and rise unquelled against the mower's scythe. Thompson. End of Chapter 8. Recording by Brandy J.
Chapter 9 of a Medley of Weather Lore. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. A Medley of Weather Lore by M.E.S. Wright. Chapter 9, September. September. Ancient Cornish name, Midguerda Gala, white straw month. Jewel for the month, chrysolite, antidote to madness. If the woodcock had but the partridge's thigh, he'd be the best bird that ever did fly. If the partridge had but the woodcock's breast, he'd be the best bird that ever was dressed. Harvest home. The ground is clear, there's nar an ear of stainin' corn a left out now, for wind to blow nor rain to drow, 'tis all up safe in barn or mow. There's health to them that plowed and sowed, there's health to them that reaped and mowed, and them that had to pitch and load, or tip the rick at harvest home. The happy sight, the merry night, the men's delight, the harvest home. W. Barnes. We have plowed, we have sowed, we have reaped, we have mowed, we have brought home every load. Hip, 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 harvest home. Gloucester. Harvest toast. Here's a health to the barley mow. Here's a health to the man who very well can both harrow and plow and sow. When it is well sown, see it is well mown, both raked and gravelled clean, and a barn to lay it in. Here's a health to the man who very well can both thrash and fan it clean. Suffolk. tramping after grouse or partridge through the soft September air, both my pockets stuffed with cartridge, and my heart devoid of care. September blows soft, till the fruit's in the loft. Of gardens. In September come grapes, apples, poppies of all colors, peaches, melocotons, yellow peaches, nectarines, cornelians, wardens, quinces. Bacon. Spring was o'er-happy and knew not the reason, and summer dreamed sadly, for she thought all was ended, in her fullness of wealth that might not be amended, but this is the harvest and the garnering season, and the leaf and the blossom in the ripe fruit are blended. W. Morris. A bloom upon the apple tree, when the apples are ripe, is a sure turbination to somebody's life. September dries up wells, or breaks down bridges. Portugal. Many haws, many slows, many cold toes. When September 13th falls on a Friday, the autumn will be dry and sunny. France. September 15th is said to be fine in 6 years out of 7. Onion skin very thin, mild winter comin' in. Onion skin thick and tough, coming winter cold and rough. Set strawberries, wife, I love them for life. Tusser. The barberry, respis, and gooseberry too, look now to be planted as other things do. The gooseberry, repsis, and roses all three, with strawberries under them trimly agree. Tusser. Wild with the winds of September, rustled the trees of the forest, as Jacob of old with the angel. Longfellow. That mellow season of the year, when the hot sun singes the yellow leaves, till they be gold, and with a broader sphere, the moon looks down on Ceres and her sheaves. Hood. When the falling waters utter something mournful on their way, and departing swallows flutter, taking leave of bank and brae, when the chaffinch idly sitteth with her mate upon the sheaves, and the wistful robin flitteth o'er beds of yellow leaves, when the clouds like ghosts that ponder evil fate float by and frown, and the listless wind doth wander up and down, up and down. Through the fields and fallows wending, it is sad to walk alone. Jean Ingelow. St. Matthew, September 21st. St. Matthew shut up the bee. The flush of the landscape is o'er, the brown leaves are shed on the way, the dye of the lone mountain flower grows wane and betokens decay. All silent the song of the thrush, bewildered she cowers in the dale, the blackbird sits lone on the bush, the fall of the leaf they bewail. Hogg. Summer is gone on swallows' wings, and earth has buried all her flowers. No more the lark the linnet sings, but silent sits in faded bowers. There is a shadow on the plain of winter ere he comes again. Hood. The feathers of the willow are half of them grown yellow above the swelling stream, and ragged are the bushes, and rusty now the rushes, and wild the clouded gleam. The thistle now is older, his stalk begins to moulder, his head is white as snow. The branches all are barer, the linnet's song is rarer, the robin pipeth now. Dixon. Nothing stirs the sunny silence, save the drowsy humming of the bees, round the rich ripe peaches on the wall, and the south wind sighing in the trees, and the dead leaves rustling as they fall, while the swallows one by one are gathering, all impatient to be on the wing, and to wander from us seeking their beloved spring. Adelaide Proctor. The Garden. What wondrous life is this I lead? Ripe apples drop upon my head. The luscious clusters of the vine upon my mouth do crush their wine. The nectarine and curious peach into my hands themselves do reach. Stumbling on melons as I pass, ensnared with flowers, I fall on grass. Andrew Marvell. St. Michael's Day, September 29th. In the Sarum Missal, St. Michael is invoked as a most glorious and warlike prince, chief officer of paradise, captain of God's hosts, the receiver of souls, the vanquisher of evil spirits, and the admirable general. From Hone. If Michaelmas Day be fair, the sun will shine much in the winter, though the wind at northeast will frequently rain long, and be very sharp and nipping. Thomas Passenger. Fresh herring plenty Michael brings, with fatted crones, old ewes, and such old things. Tusser. When the tenants come to pay their quarter's rent, they bring some fowl at midsummer, a dish of fish in Lent, at Christmas a capon, at Michaelmas a goose, and somewhat else at New Year's tide, for fear their lease fly loose. G. Gascon. Geese now in their prime season are, which if well roasted are good fare. Yet however friends take heed, how too much on them you feed, lest, when as your tongues run loose, your discourse do smell of goose. Poor Robin, 1695. If you eat goose on Michaelmas Day, you will never want money all the year round. Old saying, the Michaelmas moon rises 9 nights alike soon. The moon and the wane gather fruit for to last, but winter fruit gather when Michael is past. Though mickers, thieves, that love not to buy nor to crave, make some gather sooner, else few for to have. Tusser. End of Section 9. Recording by Todd.
Chapter 10 of A Medley of Weather Lore. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. A Medley of Weather Lore by M.E.S. Wright. October. Ancient Cornish name, Mizhedra, watery month. Jewel, opal, hope. October 4th, St. Francis and St. Benedict died 1226. St. Francis and St. Benedict bless this house from wicked wights, from the nightmare and the goblin, that is night's good fellow Robin. Keep it from all evil spirits, fairies, weasels, rats and ferrets, from curfew time to the next prime. William Cartwright. Who soweth in rain hath weed to his pain, but worse shall he speed that soweth ill seed. Teucer. When autumn, sad but sunlit, doth appear, with his gold hand gilding the falling leaf, bringing up winter to fulfil the year, bearing upon his back the ripening sheaf. When all the hills with woolly seed are white, when lightning fires and gleams do meet from far the sight, when the fair apple, flushed as even sky, doth bend the tree unto the fertile ground, when juicy pears and berries of black dye do dance in air and call the eye around, then, be the even foul or be it fair, methinks my heart's delight is stained with some care. Chatterton. There is strange music in the stirring wind, when lowers the autumnal eve, and all alone to the dark wood's cold covert thou art gone, whose ancient trees on the rough slope reclined, rock and at times scatter their tresses sere. W. L. Bowles. Of Gardens. In October and beginning of November come services, medlars, bullaces, roses cut or removed to come late, hollyhocks and such like. Bacon. Seed time. October's gold is dim, the forest rot, the weary rain falls ceaseless, while the day is wrapped in damp. In mire of village way, the hedgerow leaves are stamped, and, all forgot, the broodless nest sits visible in the thorn. Autumn, among her drooping marigolds, weeps all her garnered fields and empty folds, and dripping orchards plundered and forlorn. David Gray. Autumn days. Yellow, mellow, ripened days, sheltered in a golden coating, o'er the dreamy listless haze, white and dainty cloudlets floating, winking at the blushing trees and the sombre furrowed fallow, smiling at the airy ease of the southward flying swallow. Sweet and smiling are thy ways, beauteous golden autumn days. Shivering, quivering, tearful days, fretful and sadly weeping, dreading still with anxious gaze, icy fetters round thee creeping. O'er the cheerless withered plain, woefully and hoarsely calling, pelting hail and drenching rain, on the scanty vestments falling. Sad and mournful are thy ways, grieving, wailing, autumn day. Will Carleton. Moan, O ye autumn winds, summer has fled. The flowers have closed their tender leaves and die. Lily's gracious head all low must lie, because the gentle summer now is dead. Mourn, mourn, O autumn winds, lament and mourn. How many half-blown buds must close and die? Hopes with the summer born all faded lie, and leave us desolate and earth forlorn. A. A. Proctor. St. Simon and St. Jude's Day, October 28th. It is a Bedford custom for boys to cry baked pears about the town with the following words: Who knows what I have got in a hot pot? Baked wardens all hot. Who knows what I have got? October brings the cold weather down. When the wind and the rain continue, he nerves the limbs that are lazy grown, and braces the languid sinew. So while we have voices and lungs to cheer, and the winter frost before us, come chant to the king of the mortal year, and thunder him out in chorus. E. E. Bowen. Decay, decay, the wildering west winds cry. Decay, decay, the moaning woods reply. The whole dead autumn landscape, drear and chill, strikes the same chord of desolate sadness still. Full moon in October without frost, no frost till full moon in November. Hoar frost and gypsies never stay 9 days in a place. There are always 19 fine days in October, Kentish saying. An April frost is sharp but kills not. Sad October's storm strikes when the juices and the vital sap are ebbing from the leaf. Henry Taylor. End of October. Recording by Alan Mapstone.
Chapter 11 of a Medley of Weather Lore. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Brandy J. A Medley of Weather Lore by M.E.S. Wright. Chapter 11. Ancient Cornish Name. Ms. Dewey, Black Month. Jewel for the Month. Topaz, Fidelity. November 1st, All Saints' Day. On All Saints' Day hard is the grain, the leaves are dropping, the puddle is full. At setting off in the morning, woe to him that will trust a stranger. On All Saints' Day blustering is the weather, unlike the beginning of the past fair season. Besides God there is none that knows the future. From the Welsh, 1792. Apples, pears, hawthorns, quicksets, oaks, set them at All Hallow Tide, and command them to grow. Set them at Candlemas Tide, and entreat them to grow. Wilts. Who sets an apple tree may live to see it end. Who sets a pear tree may set it for a friend. Hereford. Their loveliness of life and leaf, at last the waving trees have shed. The garden ground is sown with grief, the gray chrysanthemum is dead. But oh! Remember this, there must be birth and blossoming. Nature will waken with a kiss. Next spring. Clement Scott. Thorny balls, each 3 in 1, the chestnuts throw in our path in showers. For the drop of the woodland fruits begun, these early November hours. Browning. There never was a juster debt than what the dry do pay for wet. Never a debt was paid more nigh as what the wet do pay for dry. A wet Sunday, a fine Monday, wet the rest of the week. Winchester. An early winter, a surly winter. St. Martin's Day, November 11th. If Martinmas ice can bear a duck, the winter will be all mire and muck. 'Tween Martinmas and Yule, water's wine in every pool. If it is cold, fair, and dry at Martinmas, the cold in winter will not last long. Old saying. Young and old must go warm at Martinmas, Italy. Weary the cloud falleth out of the sky, dreary the leaf lieth low. All things must come to the earth by and by, out of which all things grow. Owen Meredith. The year's on the wane, there is nothing adorning, the night has no eve, and the day has no morning. Cold winter gives warning. Hood. The melancholy days are come, the saddest of the year, of wailing winds, and naked woods, and meadows brown and sere. Heaped in the hollows of the grove, the withered leaves lie dead, they rustle to the eddying gust, and to the rabbit's tread. The robin and the wren are flown, and from the shrub the jay, and from the wood tops call the crow, through all the gloomy day. W. Cullen Bryant. November 20th, St. Edmund's Day. Set garlic and peas, St. Edmund to please. Tusser. If on Friday it rain, 'twill on Sunday again. If Friday be clear, have for Sunday no fear. From 12 to 2, see what the day will do. November 23rd, St. Clement's Day. Catherine and Clement, be here, some of your apples and some of your beer, some for Peter and some for Paul, and some for him that made us all. Clement was a good old man, for his sake give us some, none of the worst, but some of the best, and God will send your soul to rest. Worcestershire. November 30th, St. Andrew's Day. On St. Andrew's the night is twice as long as the day. Portugal. End of chapter 11. Recording by Brandy J.
Chapter 12 of a Medley of Weather Lore. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Larry Wilson. A Medley of Weather Lore by M.E.S. Wright. December. Ancient Cornish name, Midscarvardine, following Black Month. Jewel for the month, turquoise, prosperity. Though now no more the musing ear delights to listen to the breeze that lingers o'er the green woodshade, I love thee, winter, well. Sweet are the harmonies of spring, sweet is the summer's evening gale, and sweet the autumnal winds that shake the many-colored grove, and pleasant to the sobered soul the silence of the wintry scene, when nature shrouds herself entranced in deep tranquillity. Southey. December frost and January flood never boded husbandman good. When there are 3 days cold, expect 3 days colder. Of gardens. I do hold it in the royal ordering of gardens, there ought to be gardens for all the months in the year, in which severally things of beauty may be then in season. For December and January, and the latter part of November, you must take such things as are green all winter: holly, ivy, bays, juniper, cypress trees, yew, pines, fir trees, rosemary, lavender, periwinkle, the white, the purple, and the blue, germander, flags, orange trees, lemon trees, and myrtles if they be stoved, and sweet marjoram warm set. Bacon. If frosts do continue, take this for a law: the strawberries look to be covered with straw, laid over trim upon crotches and boughs, and after uncovered as weather allows. The gilliflower also, the skilful do know, doth look to be covered in frost and in snow. The knot and the border and rosemary gay do crave the like succor for dying away. Tusser. December 5th, St. Nicholas's Eve. St. Nicholas, besides being the patron of children, was supposed to have provided marriage portions for portionless maidens. St. Nicholas money used to give to maidens secret lie, who that he still may use his wonted liberalty. The mothers all their children on the eve do cause to fast, and when they every one at night in senseless sleep are cast, both apples, nuts, and pears they bring, and other things beside, as caps and shoes and petticoats, which secret lie they hide. And in the morning found, they say, that this St. Nicholas brought. Thus tender minds to worship saints, and wicked things are taught. From the Popish Kingdom of 1750, Barnaby Googe. St. Nicholas, Archbishop of Myrna, patron saint of virgins, boys, sailors, and the worshipful company of parish clerks of the city of London. Hone. The drooping year is in the wane. No longer floats the thistledown. The crimson heath is wan and sere. The sedge hangs withering by the mere, and the broad fern is rent and brown. The owl sits huddling by himself. The cold has pierced his body through. The patient cattle hang their head. The deer are 'neath their winter shed. The ruddy squirrel's in his bed, and each small thing within its burrow. Mary Howlett. December 21st, St. Thomas's Day. St. Thomas Gray, St. Thomas Gray, the longest night and the shortest day. Look at the weathercock on St. Thomas's Day at 12 o'clock, and see which way the wind is, and there it will stick for the next 3 months. Warwickshire. There is never a Saturday in the year but what the sun it doth appear. If birds pipe afore Christmas, they'll greet after. Scotland. Mystic mistletoe flaunted, such as the Druids cut down with golden hatchets at Yuletide. Longfellow. William Stukeley, Archdruid 1687 to 1765, says, "The Druids cut mistletoe off the trees with their upright hatchets of brass, called celts, put upon the ends of their staffs, which they carried in their hands." Mistletoe is said to be the forbidden tree in the middle of the trees of Eden. If Christmas Day on Monday be, a great winter that year you'll see. What child on that day born be, of great worship shall he be. Manuscript in Baudelaire. If that Christmas Day should fall upon Friday, know well all, that winter season shall be easy, save great winds aloft shall fly. Easter and snow, Christmas and mud. Christmas and snow, Easter and mud. Germany. So now is come our joyful feast. Let every man be jolly. Each room with ivy leaves is dressed, and every post with holly. Though some churls at our mirth repine, round your forehead garlands twine. Drown sorrow in a cup of wine, and let us all be merry. George Wither. Carol of Queen Anne's Time, 1695. Thrice welcome Christmas, which makes us good cheer, mince pies and plum porridge, good ale and strong beer, with pig, goose, and capon, the best that may be. So well doth the weather and our stomachs agree. Observe how the chimneys do smoke all about. The cooks are providing for dinner, no doubt. Kindle the Christmas brand, and then till sunrise let it burn. which quenched then lay up again, till Christmas next return. Part must be kept wherewith to tend the Christmas log next year, and when 'tis safely kept, the fiend can do no mischief there. Warwickshire. December 26th, St. Stephen's Day. Blessed be St. Stephen, there's no fast upon his even. Old saying. Bishop Hall says, on St. Stephen's Day, blessings are implored upon pastures. December 28th, Innocents' Day or Childermas Day. According to the monks, it was very unlucky to begin any work on Childermas Day, and whatsoever day that falls on, whether on the Monday or Tuesday or any other, nothing must be begun on that day through the year. Henry Bourne, 1725. Days lengthen a cockstride each day after Christmas. Know the best season to laugh and to sing is winter, is summer, is autumn, is spring. Old song. Hagman Hay. Old Yorkshire custom for hag or woodman to go round to ask for money on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve. Hark, the cock crows, and yon bright star tells us the day himself's not far. And see, where breaking from the night he gilds the western hills with light. With him old Janus doth appear, peeping into the future year, with such a look as seems to say, the prospect is not good that way. Charles Cotton. If New Year's Eve night wind blows south, it betokeneth warmth and growth. If west, much milk and fish in the sea. If north, much cold and storms there will be. If east, the trees will bear much fruit. If northeast, flee it man and brute. The new year, with its yet unacted history, claims the homage of our last departing chime. Then we hush ourselves in awe before the mystery of youngest and the freshest birth of time. The good old year is with the past. O be the new as kind. Pope. End of chapter 12. End of a medley of weather lore by M.E.S. Wright.